All rise for the Honorable Linda Friedman presiding.
Order. We're here in the matter of the state versus Roger. Madam Prosecutor, Madam Defense Attorney, are you ready with your opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, proceed.
Gentlemen of the jury, I'm going to prove that Roger, without any justification, intentionally murdered Piggy by pushing a boulder off a cliff and hitting him. As the proof will show, Roger had no justification for his action. He was acting out of pure evil impulse and uncontrollable savagery. And based on this, there will be no other conclusion but that Roger is guilty of first-degree murder.
Okay. Thank you, and now let's hear from the defense.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there's no disputing that Roger caused the boulder to fall off the cliff, resulting in Piggy's death. However, the prosecutor leaves out important facts that will be demonstrated at trial and will excuse Roger's actions. As the defense will show, at the time of Piggy's death, Roger and the other boys were stranded on a deserted island. These boys were left without any supervision, without any rules, without any education, or without any authority to teach them the basics for how to behave in a civilized manner. In these circumstances, as defense will show, Roger cannot be blamed for simply following his inner, uncivilized nature.
Ms. Teifel, please call your first witness.
First witness, I call up Ralph. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Good morning, Ralph. Can you please describe for me what happened that day that Piggy died?
In order to be rescued, I knew we needed to build a fire. To do that, we needed Piggy's specs, which were stolen by Jack and his followers. I wanted to try to get them back in a polite manner. So, I went with my boys to Jack's camp to try to reason with them and get them to let them use the specs to start a fire so that we could all be rescued.
What happened when you got to Jack's camp?
The conch with me to remind them that I was originally leader and to get them to cooperate. The first thing we met when we got there were armed guards. I blew the conch, but the guards told us to leave and threw stones at us. Next thing I know, Jack shows up with his hunters dragging a dead pig.
What happened next?
Jack told me to leave, and I told him to return Piggy's specs. Then we got into a fight.
Piggy doing during this fight?
Piggy was trying to calm everyone down and remind them that we need to work together in a civilized way if we're going to be rescued.
Always listen to Piggy?
No. Next thing I know, I see Roger at the top of the cliff pushing a boulder to fall on Piggy and me. I was able to get out of the way in time, but Piggy was not and was hit to death.
Thank you, Ralph. No further questions, Your Honor.
Very good, Ms. Lewinter. Do you have any questions for Ralph?
Good morning, Ralph. I'd just like to clear up a few things. The day Piggy was killed, you guys had been alone on the island for quite some time, correct?
Yes, we'd been alone on the island for weeks.
Island. You boys didn't go to school, did you?
No.
In fact, Ralph, during all those days on the island, there wasn't a single adult around to teach you how to behave.
Oh.
There was no police force, correct?
Correct.
There was no government, correct?
Correct.
There was no synagogues or church services for you to attend, correct?
That's correct.
So in short, Mr. Ralph, isn't it true that you boys were left with no direction for how to behave other than to follow your own impulses?
Yeah.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Teifel, will you call your next witness, please?
Prosecution rests.
Okay, Ms. Lewinter, does the defense have any witnesses it would like to present?
Yes, I'd like to call Roger to the stand.
1, 2, 3, go.
I promise to tell the truth.
Roger, please tell the jury what was going through your mind when you pushed the boulder off the cliff.
I don't know why I pushed the boulder. It just seemed the thing to do. I couldn't really help it. Everyone was fighting and it was just going crazy. And we just came back from this big hunt and we were all excited from killing the pig. Piggy was really just so annoying because he wouldn't stop talking, so I couldn't help it. I just wanted him to shut up.
And that's why you pushed the boulder?
Yeah, well, I really didn't see why not. It's not like any parents were there to punish me or tell me what to do. And it was always so exciting whenever we would kill a pig, so it just came naturally.
Thank you, Roger. No more questions.
Ms. Keifel, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Roger, you said that before you pushed the rock while Piggy was talking, correct?
Yes.
Wasn't Piggy trying to tell everyone that they should work together?
Yes.
And you heard what Piggy said, didn't you?
Yeah.
So isn't it true that even though you had no adults on the island, at least one of the boys was trying to teach you how to behave in a civilized way, correct?
Yeah, but it was hard.
Objection, Your Honor. It's a yes or no question.
Roger, please answer the question with a yes or no.
Yes.
You said before that you were carried away from the excitement of killing the pig, correct?
Yeah.
But Roger, you didn't really need an adult around to understand the difference between killing a pig and killing a human being, did you?
I don't know. I'm so confused.
Questions, Your Honor.
So let's proceed to some summations, please.
I told you at the beginning that we would prove that Roger intentionally murdered Piggy without justification. You heard the testimony of Ralph that tells you that Piggy and Ralph were just there to try to get the glasses and get everyone to work together in order to get rescued. There was no justification for Roger to push the boulder off the cliff. The defense may argue that because they were far from civilization, that Roger did not know any better, and that we can't blame him for doing what came naturally, but we contend that to believe that is to believe that there is no difference between a human being and a wild pig. Roger knew that Piggy was a human being and not an animal to be hunted for food. He didn't need a grown-up to tell him that it was wrong to kill a human being, and so you should convict him of murder.
3 to go. There's no dispute that Roger pushed the boulder off the cliff that resulted in Piggy's death. But there's also no dispute that Roger, along with all the other boys, had been on that island for weeks. There was no adults to teach them right from wrong, no schools to educate them and teach them how to follow rules, no churches or synagogues to preach morality and good behavior. The boys were taught to celebrate when killing a pig. Killing just became natural to them. Roger, along with the other boys, were left with nothing but their own instinct of savagery. How can you blame him for being true to his own nature? I therefore ask you to find him not guilty.
The jury will now proceed to deliberations, and the court is hereby adjourned.